You are entering the world of Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. We discuss here the universe, enlightened shamanism, and our world, informing the misinformed. Warmest blessings, warmest blessings. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to the Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show. Sorry about that. Today we are talking about dreams. If you don't know me yet, go out there to check out the channel even more. Most people, they come here and they're looking for resources for their shamanic journey on how to rise and how to become more spiritual, or even how to meditate. So they'll come here and do that. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel, and type down at the chat box, what is your mood today? What kind of mood are you in today? Are you happy? Are you sad? What's going on in your life? Whatever's happening in your life, what emotion are you in today? And think back to this morning. Type down in the chat on the emoji that you are in the mood today. So what mood are you in today? Go share, go like, and go subscribe. Please share this to whether it's on YouTube or whether it's to Facebook. Go help share this to Facebook. Again, if you want a free reading today, we are doing that throughout the talk. If you guys want to call in when there is a moment of pause, you can do that as well. And we will do that reading for you. Okay. If you don't know me, I'm Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. I am known for being the first white veil shaman to go out there publicly, and the first universal and Hmong spiritual and energy healing practice in Minnesota, and possibly, like I've seen before, throughout the United States at least. I am known for my on-point shamanic soul readings because they're accurate, not trying to be egotistic here, but I've been told that it was always on point. So every time I do a reading, they say, that is so hitting the nail on the head. That's the same words that I get every time. I'm also known for doing chi energy healing and manifestations that do come out as results. Not that you would expect the results, but that the results usually just come out, and the outcome is from what I've experienced and my feedback, that they have come out as what they didn't even think that it would come out that way. So it was a good experience for at least most of the people that have come. If you go out to my Facebook, you'll see all the reviews out there. I think throughout my life, I've only had like 3 people that didn't agree with me on a reading, but come to find that like months later, they either called, emailed, or messaged me that what I said was true and that they were sorry that they had not believed in what I said. So I'm known for the first Hmong shamanic enlightenment establishment practice in Minnesota since 2011. And as far as I know, throughout the United States or North America. My spiritual journey began as a young child through spiritual encounters, unexplainable shamanic illnesses, and near-death experiences that I've had. I have helped thousands of people through enlightened shamanic and transformational healing on a global scale, and I'm here to inform the misinformed through my shamanic perspective. All the links that you need from me are in the description below. All right, let's get into it to my Hmong community. Nhớ rong nói Master Shaman PaLiChee nu nó gùi tổ khí tổ khía chọc cho game bầu sham bầu shua nó nhớ rong đi trả thia mu yên cây lù tin hình tàu nung cuốn tàu hành mà lơ hạt tia cho game bầu shua nó thấu con bầu shua nó có bù mù trâu ít khó tư có lúc chị nhân tới thì chỉ có tuân chụp li bộ mù đồ ít khó thở tư nữa nè lớn nuôi lo luôn gây lù trong đi nọ nu nọ của yo to tê gây lù nọ trong này số linh số tù ya này là trong của họ website là trong của họ Facebook là do website là do trong YouTube nó này yo nó thế bỏ thế bao ya nên tàu họ link trong đại video nó nè do họ tía trở lên từ họ nhà mà nhà giống như nhà y họ cái chân là do cái khoác kia để xin nó để của họ video nó ya của họ live nó của yo khoác kia trở đi bây giờ quan năng khoa dài tổ khoác kia tổ cú thia trở đi bây cỡ trở đi cú cỡ để cú li quan năng khoa dài nên để lò lỡ thầu cú pi của họ năng nữa do hạt tía nè nó nè họ mua giá ra chỉ từ nè họ tông cả là do sa thọ bây giờ còn nên có hai sai dài nên đầu đầu tụ sa tông nhân đời ít sa tụ sa tông đỡ nè yo bỏ nhưng sâu trong đời ít sa sa xì nè yo nè nè muốn đầu nhau YouTube sa xì nè yo nè nó nữa khi đầu tụ sa tông ya sa trâu bây bây ít chua gì bây sa sa nên đầu tàu đầu cũ thầu lúc xí hở nó bê mong trâu plo mong nhớ trâu mì gà tê nữa bê mong trâu plo mong mà ya Central Standard Time là hồ lý nó bê nhớ trâu hồ lúc là Minnesota ya nên muốn chơi trâu hồ online cái này bao thì Minnesota bê mong nó do lý trả đợt này lúc rõ nữa cái này mà lý họ muốn sai muốn chơi nữa okay ya từ từ họ sa nè nó donate là do thì mỗi nhà top ba PaLiChee channel nó là được cũng mỗi họ link cho bé họ PayPal nên họ muốn đầu mỗi ý ở đồ sư lọ bé yên dùng xe bé là khoản năng yên dùng xe thì nên phụ thia dùng xe cho cái bé ba nên nó So today we are going to be talking about the biggest question that I've gotten with dreams. Do we really leave our bodies when we dream? How many of you think that we leave our bodies? Like the spirit or the soul? How many of you believe that the spirit or the soul leaves the body? How many of you? Those of you that are watching, participate. The more you participate, the more that the teaching and the wisdom flows out to you. And of course, I'm out here because I want the most teachings and wisdom to flow out to you. If you are trying to rise on yourself with resources, this is the perfect place for you to be and to listen to on the channel, because then we give you tips and tricks and things to do to help you and boost you on your spiritual journey. Even if you've had a sifu before or that you are currently with one and you believe that they're not helping you in the way that you would like them to, this is the perfect channel for you to come onto and to confirm certain questions that you may have to help you get through it. Now, of course, I always say, please go and confirm with your sifu before you going outside to other masters or teachers or sifus in regards to confirming if you are in the Hmong lineage. But if you are universal, that is up to you and your master or your teacher to have you go out to different resources. I always welcome my disciples to go out and discover new resources, but not to say that they also are very prone to utilizing the resources that I give them first. Other resources are like, confirmations for them, for my students. But if you are other disciples of other teachers or sifus, you'll want to get their impression or their, whatever you need from them. I don't know if it's an approval or anything like that, but you may need to get that from them to get other resources, such as through this talk line or the dial-in line. So here today, we are discussing throughout history. People have asked where we go when we dream. And whether it's science, psychology, spiritual traditions, they offer different answers, multiple different answers on where we go when we dream. So today, I'd like to share my perspective, my spiritual or shamanic perspective through my spiritual guidance, that what they have taught me. They have brought me to understand that dreaming, there's an essence of us that travels when we dream. It's not our soul, it's not our spirit. It is a fragment of us, our spirit, okay, in within the soul. And also why we believe that dreams can play a meaningful role in one's spiritual journey. Because I get that a lot when most people are going through their spiritual journey, they're asking about, and they're constantly having different types of dreams that they wonder a lot if that dream has any effects or meanings in their current life. Or is it a telling dream? Is it a dream that is predicting the future for them? Or is it a dream that is telling them that they should protect themselves spiritually from whoever? Okay. So, as always, I encourage you to listen thoughtfully, compare perspectives, and reflect on what resonates with you and your own experience, and stay till the end. So, today, the soul travels. It travels into different dimensions. For those of you that are non believers of dimensions, then you can hear me out. The soul travels. Why do I know and believe this? Because I am a soul worker. I work to bridge and to bring back the soul to various people throughout my healings. I'm a shaman. I'm not a science person. I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm not medical doctor. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. So you guys know I'm Master Shaman PaLiChee. It says it all in the name. Psychic medium, spirit energy healer. So in dreams, in my interpretation and the learnings that I've gotten, the wisdom that I've gotten, we visit spiritual realms. The soul, a fragment of the soul, gets to visit spiritual realms. How many of you know that or knew that? We get to also meet ancestors along the way, along the dreams. We encounter spirit guides within our dreams. And that's also one big piece that plays into your spiritual journey as you are on the spiritual journey if you encounter spirit guides in your dreams. And you may not know that the old man in your dream, which you had no clue who it was a spiritual guide. It could have also been an ancestral guide as well. And it also could be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa that is posing as them. This spirit is posing as a grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, but they're actually, in essence, your spiritual guides. Receiving symbolic teachings. We often receive these symbolic teachings in our dreams. If you have seen certain symbols that pop up, whether it's a good symbol or not a good symbol or a neutral symbol, they're symbolizing something for you. It's a telling kind of dream. That's why it's brought you that symbol. And symbolically teaching you what is to come or what can you prevent in your next 1 to 2 weeks, or maybe the month, or even in that week. Okay. Experiencing other dimensions as well. So when you're dreaming, the soul essence of you or the spirit of the soul gets to travel. So this spirit fragment gets to go and travel to a place, a dimension that the universe or cosmos believes that your essence of this, the part of your soul should get to go to, because whatever it is that reason is that they need to tell you, they need to give this message across to you so that you can somehow interpret this dream when you wake up, and it can sort of rub off on you for some people, right? Because if they don't know how to interpret, it just sort of kind of plays into their week or plays into their 1 to 2 weeks if they don't do anything with it. Now, for those that know what to do with it or know how to interpret or find the meaning of it, then it may be a preventative type of dream. It's trying to prevent something that you're maybe going to get into a situation, for example, a car crash, right? Or a car accident, that maybe you don't decide to go on a certain trip, or you decide to turn a different direction. And so interpretations vary widely across cultures and traditions, but from a spiritual standpoint, dreams involve these components. Okay, so often these components, whether they're hidden fears, fears that you have had inside of you for quite some time, or that you don't want to talk about these fears due to maybe something that you don't want to get into that emotional part of you. But I'm telling you right now that if you don't face the fears out here in the physical world, you will face them in your dreams. And if you face them in your dreams enough, spirits, or the good spirit guides or energetic guides, will come and help you face them in your dreams. And then guess what? It often starts to pop up in physical forms. So these are the hidden fears. And then there's also desires that you may have, secret desires or sacred desires, you may call them, or just any desires that you may have that you want in your life. So for example, if you're a child and you've always wanted a bike, and this is like one of the bikes that you've been dreaming about for like a couple weeks or months, and your parents are not willing to get it for you yet because it costs a ton of money, like $1,000 for this electric bike or whatever that you're dreaming about, you're desiring, right? As a kid or teenager, then perhaps this desire starts to pop up in your dream, that you start having a dream that you're riding a bike, or that the bike is crooked or the wheels are crooked or something like that. So it could be very symbolic for you that the wheels are crooked for whatever reason, that you're not getting this bike. And or you may dream that someone else is riding the bike and you're standing on the sideline wishing that you had that bike. Something like that, right? So then you may dream of desires, and then emotional conflicts with the self or with others. How many of you had an emotional conflicted type of dream? Whether you had an emotional conflict with yourself, like, you are battling with they call it with your own demons, quote unquote. But I usually like to call it battling with yourself, battling and being challenged with a self, through these emotional conflicts, right? So emotional conflicts are things that you could dream about with a self, or if you had an emotional conflict with another person, like you were trying to do a confrontation with someone, or you want to do a confrontation, but you can't get yourself the courage to do the confrontation. The question is, you're dreaming about it, you get to dream about it because you truly want to do that. But then the thing is that you are out here in the physical world, you are afraid to do it, or you can't get yourself the courage to do it because you know that there could be an argument that will bust out. So emotional conflict starts to keep dreaming at you, or you keep having to go to that place, right? That place or that dimension where you're dreaming about having emotional conflicts with other people, because when you wake up, you don't feel good about it, or you feel like you have to do something. That's an emotional conflict, whether it's within yourself or within someone in the family, or with like self or others, right? And you feel like you have to face these conflicts somehow, some way. And if you don't face them, then your dreams are going to get you to face them. Also, there's personal growth factors, which involves karmic cycle with lessons that are unresolved. Okay. So these are things that will help you personally grow. You would dream about these things. Unresolved lessons that still needs to be learned. And maybe it's something that is karmic in the karmic cycle, whether it's in your own karmic cycle or your parents or your grandparents, you get to have some of these personal growth type of dreams. And it's to help you really to get yourself up to speed in what you need to do or say in the waking life. That when you awake, you may make up your mind, or you may make up your mind to talk with somebody, or to get your emotions out there with somebody because you want to solve something that was hanging. Some kind of situation back in the days, um, maybe your father had an issue with his brother or something like that. And now it comes upon you because your father didn't resolve it. So now you may be the son or daughter, and then you're getting that dream because maybe you are being called to go and resolve it some way, somehow, without doing too much damage, perhaps. Or perhaps you may have to do a crazy damage, um as in damage, as in to open up a whole can of worms is what they call it. But once that can is open, it's trying to resolve what had been hanging there and hurting there for quite some time. So you may have this type of dream. It is also to help you with personal growth. At the same time, it's also trying to resolve some kind of situation that had been lagging. The other thing is, spiritual guidance will be helpful, such as giving you a warning, wisdom from ancestors, and things like that. Spiritual guidance to receiving inspiration in your dreams, inspiration to doing something with like a project that you maybe were thinking about already, or maybe to stop you from doing a certain project because it may not go well. It can be that as well. So, exploring symbolic landscapes that hold meaning to your spiritual journey on earth is what the dreams help you do. It helps you to explore, and sometimes you're reflecting on it in your dreams as well. Has anybody here that's listening right now, or even if you listen later, have you had a dream within a dream? So you had a dream, but then you also dreamt in that dream. So it's a dream within a dream. And this type of dream, it goes very deep into the layers, layers within you that you're trying to face. But you had not gotten to, or that you're maybe trying to shy away from, or maybe run away from that specific situation. That's usually, at least from what my experiences, is the reason why you have a dream within a dream. Because you're trying to face it, you want to face it, but then you just can't face it in the waking life. So you have a dream within a dream. And then at the same time, you're also going into the layers of either the self or into the layers of a trauma or something that you will be facing in the near future. So you want to kind of see explore what the symbols mean, especially if you had dreams about landscapes. How many of you had dreams about flying over landscape, some kind of landscape, whether it's water, mountains, hills, whatever that landscape is, a volcano perhaps? Um, all of these dreams, flying dreams, dragon dreams, if you are becoming more spiritual, you may dream of dragon dreams. There's something there for you. Okay. Of course, if there's questions, you could type it down on the chat side, on the right side. And then if you want to ask me in person, go ahead and you make the call. Okay. You have to dial in. So these dreams reflect on life. It also reflects the individuals that you know, and also yourself. Also, there's individuals within your dream, like I talked about. It could be your spirit guides. You may not know any individuals that was in your dream, maybe for one individual, perhaps. But you may not know anybody that you saw in your dream, but then you kind of will remember the place, or maybe it's very vivid and you remember the colors or the voice. And sometimes, how many of you have had a dream where it's being narrated to you and you're this third person on the sideline, but you're watching everything kind of happen, like as in a movie, or you're just standing on the side, or you're standing out here and then you're watching this whole dream unfold before you? How many of you have had that type of dream? Very interesting dreams to give you different perspectives. If you are a third person in your dream, there's something there for you to understand about what is happening around you. So, because in the waking life, you're yourself. So you can only see it in first person. And if you don't reflect, if you don't meditate, you don't get to see it from a third person viewpoint. That specific dream in third person is literally telling you, hey, you need to take a step back and go view your life from a third person point of view. Go and see why so and so in that dream is doing this. Go and see, or go and see for yourself what that truth is. Is there a truth to it? There's always a truth to it with those third person dreams. You're getting the dream in third person because you are too naive to see it in third person and to be in someone else's shoe. Your dream is telling you, your soul, the soul piece of you that gets to go travel and dream, in the dream, right? During the dream, gets to go travel to these other dimensions to see it from a third person so that you can take a step back and enjoy the movie, right? So to speak. So that when you wake up, you can have this kind of feeling or emotion and you can see the perspective from outside of yourself. That's why you're getting that third person dream, because you're too naive to see the truth of what the situation is. So, all these dreams has been brought to my attention over the years. I do dream interpretation, and at the beginning of my shamanic journey, I did a ton boatload of dream interpretation freely, just freely, because there was many people that wanted dream interpretation for some reason. So we did that alongside of multiple chi energy healings as well, and psychic readings. So tons of those went on as I grew into my shamanic journey. So I'm going to stop right here. But before I go further, if you've had these dream questions, how many have had this question? How many of you have had the question as, do we really leave our bodies when we dream? How many of you thought that you would leave your body? Or maybe you didn't even think of that question. Is that question something that sparks you to want to know more about your soul, your spirits of the soul? Because it is the spirit of the soul that's getting that experience firsthand. And then your mind gets that experience firsthand. If spirit of the soul gets that experience, then you get that experience. If you haven't already, go like, subscribe right now. Take a moment right now and go click on the like button. Go click on the subscribe button and that notification button. If you're on Facebook, go over there and go follow so that you'll know when my content comes out. Today, I wanted to surprise you because I wanted to know how many people knew that I was going to be here today on live. That's why I did not announce it. I did not announce it today, but we have the pinned post that says every Monday and Wednesday. Last week, Wednesday, I had to do a pre-recording. So for those of you that thought I was going to be at 3, instead of me being live fully at 3, it was a pre-recorded live. So you would have gotten that still at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to talk to my Hmong community here about what I just talked about. Similarly, it's not going to be word for verbatim on translation, but I'm going to talk about dreams. So, the cho ke be thanu no cho ke wa hatia ngai la ya sha lu hatia be bo tờn de bé lúc chế đó bố mua tuần chụp li tờn de lúc chế thổi dùng bầu xúa thổi dùng bầu sang bầu xúa cú yêu khét khoác khét ở này hạt tiệt cho cái tờn de lúc chế đó chỉ mua de si tụ pli mua ít tụ pli nị yên mù nè mà nị chỉ tờ có lúc chế de si nị mù sai nị mù xúa nị nè nó mua khó cho nị mù gì tên gì thở gì tên gì thơ giờ đi trả gì cho mua tới khó thơ và nếu nó nếu mua nhiệt chỉ bao cũng nhận giữ bỏ là do có một khoản nâng chỉ khoản nâng cho có là do nhiệt chỉ bao cũng nhận giữ cho có ở nhà nóแต่是头讲无上无说的考你好着走你我如果我冇得考让你去争衡那chị你只要你只包公nhận giữ là do khoa nắng khoa gia lợi你要giả trợ lợiแต่是你估摸你只包公nhận giữ sai chỗ có thiết vì nên đó có thiết lý cho cá lọ chị image nó của biết cho cái hạt tiệt thiết là do tiệt lợi rồi ya cho họ nếu mua đâu giả bao số cho thiết đâu giả cho được họ bao số hạt tiệt and I'm gonna have to write this down to remind myself but combo shua hatia ya oja tin combo shua na e lo chi ri cho ka lo lo e chi ri tu nang chi ri sia lo vì lý cha tu nang chi ri sia tho lo bo shua la ya pu sia lo okay so it's called I think there's a name for that but they sleep and then they're just gone next day they don't wake up again so we will talk about why that is at least in my perspective, and what I know about that in a near future live. Has anybody wondered about that? About why a person would sleep and then just be gone, like die? So there's this part. We will talk about that in a near future live. But right now, I'm talking to the Hmong community that cho cái bầu sang bầu số na có lúc chế bùa có lúc chế bùa ở lại có tụ pli na bùa tờ nữa có lúc chế mù naแต่สิกูอยากให้เราเนี่ยเนาะcó lúc có cho pli có tụ pli na tụ pli chân tụ pli chủ nếu chỉ tờ nữa có lúc chế mùแต่สิnếu mua ít tụ chủ nếu mua ít tụ pli pli chủ là tụ pli chủ nữa nếuกูtàu mù sai mù xua này cú tàu tờ mù sai mù xua là si tu chu chế chân là tu chu đoan chu lâu chỉ tờ cái cho họ tờ chị tu nên tả li lợ nữa hỏi họ thì tu pli xứ là chị tu pli nhưng muốn đến đầu cho pli á họ có lúc chị nữa chị ít tu pli mù xứ tu pli nữa mù sai mù xua sai ở này nó còn nên cho nữ bỏ nhiệt chỉ bỏ cũng nhận giữ cho nữ bỏ là do họ tiền khi đứa em mù bỏ và cũng mua theo chị họ nói ya tụ plin đó ya tụ plin và nữ tông mù sai mù bỏ chị ô có bỏ li hạt tiệt bao số cho họ có bự lợ chị có lú chị nữ so có lú lứa là so chị và nó chỉ có chụp plin nữ cu chỉ so nữ chụp plin và nữ mù trong út trong nó thầu lú xưa có so này nhở hay thầu lú xưa có nhỏ li ta nó bé nhỏ sổ da chân nó nè sổ da chân nó chị có thể cú sĩ thả đi nó chị có chụp hình nhớ tàu được có lúc chị nữa usually áแต่ชีอะเขาก็ปื้อแล้วนะเจ๊จะปลีนึกูชอก็รู้เจ๊ชอแต่ชีจะปลีนึกูเนี่ยnó mù tàu rồi u nó là những tàu theo thì nó mua khỏi trong nó theo hay thì ý là đi xài tàu thì cho cái bao sáng bao số nó giờ có bao số cho ya cái ya tao muốn đi này có bỏ ra giờ có mua xài tàu thì có những mua ít cho khó nắng là giờ họ tiệt tê rau ít tu nắng nhớ rồi nên lu chỉ nắng mua nắng ấy có thể đi bao số cho tu ra nữa thế là giờ tiệt cái ya nó chỉ có đầu họ ra nó chỉ cũng mua ở bên họ bao sáng bao số thế giờ cái ná là cũng mua ở bên họ bao sáng bao số thế chỉ giờ xài thì có xứ cô xài thì giờ tê rồi giờ lỡ lên lỡ tu thế nhớ rồi họ có chỉ nắng là giờ có lúc khó khăn là do mua tay giả chất giá nếu cơ trong có ấy cơ thì liền bao số cho chó là cũng bao số ăn đâu giả cho chó thế nhở nếu mua ở bên họ chạyแต่是有时候点谁个环保说的呢nếu mua trở đi chả ấy thế li bảo chạy đó có thế li bảo chia tụ bảo说的有个政治到保持见保上保说那些个个来引导的，这个节个都看来引导个时节晒保持续的好个节，OK。还有个周末能呀看，那个节来引导天，一度能节来引导，个节来引导，就可能莫好点哦，头中那节我哩那了，头中哩那节我哩导天，那节你估莫节中那 in general 来呀 standard。แต่ชี呀头目一看不说的到了，那姐的肉个要接起就找的打理。有个么能么也开啊，那姐才到底有古么能那姐古就能开的，哦有个么说那姐玻璃那姐要里那的个路真能开呢，姐被才到了个的要那个真能里那呢。姐知道还得有么考过了要的领导要个要离古那姐古么就能开古。大是เราหายทันดีทันได้เนาะนะเจนี่รงลินเดอร์เนอะอืม这game 不说，节不说了嘛，一人接了一呀，一人接走了一呀，他走的了好给人了呀，了好给了mu do experience 了呀，了好给了 that happens to them things that happen to them， so 了接走的好给了呀。แต่ชีเดเป้นะเจนเดกูนะเจกูเสียเจอดีนั่งอยากเขียโอเคตัวขอจะชวนเล่นสตูมาเนี่ยยมเนี่ยเจอเจกูจิกาชีขอ standard ฮะเดียโอ้ยก็บอก说在亚界要领导大木里，哦也ก็บอก说在找了也บอก说在亚界要领导大木里，为哈เดีย看到เจีย好哈เดีย要才到เดีย举报证了嘛呀，举报证也个เสียเจอดีขอ standard。对头嘛，你要领导听，但是对头的你好才了走了听，还有个节这里能呀还，他可看那节他这里被宝贝晒那节，你也要领导就领导是哦，你去摸好我还得对肉呢，嗯。这主要还得有还得个卡还得有这节，但是给人家的建议主要得那一人都要这节。chỉ mua khó tiền yo khá tiền tự chế đi cha bộ bộ nó thì chỉ còn đợi chị trở đi khó biết chỉ chế lò lỡ chị ni yên yo đi còn đợi nữa yo ni chữ sĩ lò đâuอยู่tụ khinh bỏ na hay tiền yo chân lên đợi lỡ chị có chế chứ cha đi phá rồi chị nếu cô yo ít khó hay tiền yo đâu là chừngอยู่tụ khinh thế lại rồi nó yo có chính trang chị còn nó chị xài đâu tiền có chỉ ta chế bộ sáng bộ xua li là yo chỉ ta sai li okay thì so nhà này chỉ tao bảo cú nên chỉ có Master Shaman PaLiChee nên chỉ tao muốn tao tệ thia mu nên nó ba Bailey channel support Bailey channel nên chỉ nên họ mu ba trong đời đã nó còn đời ý giả nên order sư mu nhẹ sư là những tao lợi giờ chỉ còn đời mu order mu ba order sư giờ nên tao sai Bailey channel thia nên họ mua tới họ gây lũ order gà nè thiên gà nên gà xia là do ba tổ nên vậy ít thỉnh mê ít có chuột mê là lo nên họ muốn ba subscribe theo muốn like theo muốn đầu nên nó muốn nhảy lúc chứ ấy còn nên thì bao thầu của tự cho số nên nó YouTube là do số hóa số chùa nó li tôi khó khăn theo ba này còn nên vậy tàu ít có chuột lấy ít thỉnh gì tận đây nó giờ giờ này mua neng chỉ mua neng là giờ này mua seafood chỉ mua seafood là họ kể là giờ cho kể bé lì theo bé con neng rong xía tổ ba này để xí cô giờ ít họ kể để xía đến chữ giờ này ba muốn đầu tệ đó 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 là giờ này họ xả tàu hạt tía I'll talk about the book bé phong đó nó cú tàu sâu xí lúc xí hở nên đây là sâu để xí vì hạt tía cú tàu mua cho cái nhuận để cú lúc xí luôn chữ cú thế là xí đầy sư chỉ xài tàu để cú muốn thía chỉ nên đầy cú thế là xí lúc xí hẳn đầy còn nào cú nhuận để cú tụ khen cái cú thế là xí lúc xí hẳn đầy lọ it's an emotional book for me and that's why I took long on this book but at the same time I wanted to bring out some sort of experience of my own to gift to those that are rising on their spiritual journey, whether it's a shamanic journey or any kind of gift, spiritual gifts and abilities that those of you that may have or may think that you have, this is the book for you. I have risen on this journey, and this is the memoir and shamanic aspect of Minds, and it's a teaching memoir to help you understand some things that you're going through in your spiritual journey, and you may resonate with it. I don't guarantee anything, but obviously you can see if you will resonate with it. It will help you also to discern about spiritual phenomenons that you may have gone through or may be going through. Okay. We have very tricky energies in dreams. How many of you believe that dreams are not always straight, that they are curvy, that they bring trickery? There's trickery in dreams. Even though your spirit, part of a spirit fragment gets to travel to a dimension, that there can be trickery where that spirit gets led to. So, although tricky energies may cross paths through some dreams, okay, not all dreams, but some, and not others with the subconscious mind during the dream state. Okay, so dreaming state, this can cause the dream to be skewed. So your dream that you dreamt about a tiger may not be the same dream as someone else dreamt about a tiger. And it could also have a component in that dream that is tricky. And it's tricky because it doesn't want to tell you the sacred knowledge of the dream. You must work to figure out and interpret that dream in a way where whether it teaches you something or it's telling you, it's a telling dream, prophetic type of dream about what's going to be happening, whether a situation that you're going to be involved in or going to be maybe the main character in even. So these are very telling dreams, prophetic dreams, or it could be worldly. Most shamanic healers or rising shamans are going to have worldly planetary types of dreams, end of the world types of dreams. Now, sometimes you may not even be a spiritual energy healer. You may not be a shaman, but you are having these worldly dreams because they're letting your soul know, the cosmos, ancestors, spirit guides that you may not even know are helping you some way, somehow, letting your soul know that this could be the thing that's going to be happening in the next few months. And will you pay attention to it? Or let's get your attention to it. It's let's get you this attention. Let's get you to pay attention on what's really happening in your world, in the waking life. Because if they don't awaken you, then you're going to be clueless when these things happen. At least they would have said, okay, well, we warned them. We warned the people. Because if they didn't warn you, then of course, what is the point of humanity? You're always being warned through a dream, a vision of some sort, an instinct of some sort. You're always being blessed if you didn't know that. But most of the world takes these blessings as burdens, and they intake the blessings as is nothing. Like, that was nothing. Oh, I'm just going to throw it to the side. And they don't pay attention. They're not conscious to it. They don't want to be conscious to it because you know why? It's the truth. And your dreams have given you some truths. I'll say that they are not giving you all the truth, but they're giving you some truths as much as you believe in the truth. And this could be your truth or universal truth. And it can also be someone else's truth that maybe is synchronizing with the universe. And it's telling you, hey, you should listen to this person, or you should pay attention to this person because they know the truth. If your ancestors came in and trying to get your attention, then obviously you would listen. Sometimes spiritual guides come in as your ancestors, like I've talked at the beginning. I've said this at the beginning, that some of your ancestors, they will pose into your dreams as your mom and dad, giving you a hug or telling you something very important. And you wake up and then guess what? You forget about it. And then the big thing here is, here's a tip. Go back and meditate on that dream. Go back and meditate on that dream. If that dream felt important to you, but you forgot it. And the message in the dream, was it important to you as well? In some of the trickery that happens in dreams is all of a sudden you're like going on this really good road or something like that, right? For example, and then you went off road and then the car started going all kinds of different weird zigzaggy ways, and then now you are at the cliff and then you're about to fall off and then you wake up. So a dream could happen like that. And what's the tricky energy? All of a sudden you went off road, okay? Could it be that you do go off road in the physical waking life? Or that you say something wrong or do something that you shouldn't have? And there's, that type of dream where it tricks you to be super fearful, or that you're fearful. So it's messing with your emotions, these dreams. At the same time, your soul, a fragment of your soul, gets to experience the going off road and going all kind of zigzaggy ways, and then now you're at the cliff. And you feel fearful that you're going to drop off the cliff in that dream, or that example anyways. So that's crossing paths with something very tricky that puts you off road, gets you to go off road, gets the vehicle to go off road in your dream. So think about it. If it wasn't tricky in the dream, then you would have gone straight. But it was tricky in the dream, something, what is it? It crossed paths with that vehicle to make it all of a sudden you go off road. So something tricky is happening in the dream. At the same time, in your waking life, there could be some sort of a distraction that comes in the next day or two or in the next week that will get you going off road, so to speak, similarly to the dream. And it may telling you, hey, you better be careful. Something's going to be off. You're going to get to the edge and it may not be good. There may be a dispute. There may be a distraction of some sort. Your car may actually malfunction. It could be this. Or maybe it's not your car at all. It's just how you are carrying yourself. That you may get out of control. So then that's why the dream is off road, going off road zigzag. Because in the waking life, perhaps you are not able to control your emotions. And so you go off of not being who you really are and saying things who you really aren't. So be careful, right? When you have these type of dreams, they're telling you, they're always giving you this message, warning messages for certain things that are to come. I like to categorize vivid dreams as dreams where the soul gets to visit realms. This is bigger realms or deeper realms. And this is when your head is on straight. You had nothing that's really bothering you, or maybe you had a ton of things bothering you, and now you have to have this vivid dream through the ancestors, through the guides, through the cosmos. You must have this vivid dream so that you can wake up from all the frustration that you've been in. It could happen like this too. And the fuzzy dreams, I categorize those as the soul only got to view or observe something, like watching TV screen that we had talked about, instead of visiting the actual realm. Either way, even sometimes the dream may or may not be remembered, but essentially the subconscious wasn't disrupted if it was more clear than unclear. The subconscious wasn't disrupted. That's why it's vivid, okay? And it's usually a more straight, I usually like to categorize as a straight dream. Like what you dream of is what's going to happen. Not literally, but symbolically, okay? Tricky dreams sometimes will happen in the opposite direction of your dream, okay? If you cannot remember a dream, we often say, forget about it, right? We often say, forget about it, as it's only meant to distract the mind from thinking clearly the next day or the next 2 days or so. It can also be seen as having an already distracted mind, or you're frustrated or confused about something in your life or yourself, maybe a decision that you have to make and you haven't made that decision. It's hard to make that decision. Maybe it's a difficult decision and your emotions are up high. Well, having that type of a distracted type of dream may mean that you have an unclear mind and it's just kind of going anywhere, or kind of a bit tricky, and it's unclear dreams. You're worried about maybe everything that's happening in your life. You may have unclear dreams. So someone had asked for a card. I'm going to do a card pull in a bit here, but I'm going to close this up. Okay, so whoever Maya Love creates. Hello, Master PaLiChee. May I have a card pull today? Yes, we'll do a card pull for Maya. So I'll do a card pull in a bit here, but I wanted to put this in closing. This is the awakening of humanity. I'll say this and I'll say it again. It is the awakening of humanity on earth. And I want to leave you with this today. Dreams hold some keys to a destiny that you need to fulfill. Not anybody else, but you. Because it's your dream. You dreamt it. Your soul, spirit, your fragment of the soul got to experience it. Whether it's a third person or in first person or second. By interpreting your dream, you get to make better informed decisions daily through foresight. Because that's literally what your dream is. It's a foresight. It's to give your soul an experience so that you, through your free will and discernment, you can make a decision. But you must become conscious of the signs. And it goes back to learning to decipher. We talked about that last week. Dreams are food for the soul. I like to think of it as you going to class. If you can't go to class through meditation, then you get to go to class through dreams. The soul is your key to connecting with spiritual energy. And learning more about it will only help you know better to protect yourself in the future. Why? One may say, Master PaLiChee, why? Why does this matter for, what's going on? The future is full of spirit and energy. And it will only be coming out more and more and more and more until we see it with naked eye, which will be full of spiritual and energetic ways. Okay, I'll say this, ways. Live to dream, but dream to live as you desire as well. Now, we are going to go into card pulls. All right, moving on. We're going to move on into a card pull for Maya Love Creates. Maya Love Creates, this is for you. Ito9006 says, I saw Master PaLiChee in my dream a few times. I get that a lot. Ito, I get that a lot. When you get me in your dreams, there is a deep message there for you. Please go and discern correctly. Usually those that dream about me I'm usually their sifu or teacher, whether it's informal or formally. And there's always a resignation there. And some of those people that dream about me, and they've told me before, um, they've continued to follow me. Not lying. Obviously, I have to be honest. Otherwise, I can't operate the way that I do. So, those that have dreams about me, either I've done a healing for them, they've met me somehow and asked for a healing or some kind of a upgrade of some sort on their spiritual journey or spiritual gifts and abilities. We've been able to do so many things with those that have dreamt about me. There's a few of those that have become my formal disciples. So it's very interesting. And those that have not become a disciple, have not subscribed, have not followed, but listened to me on a regular basis. And they take the gold nuggets that I give, but they also don't give me credit. So, not saying it's you, Ito 9006, but I know of those because Spirit shows me who they are. So you can't run, but you can't hide. I'll say it that way. All right. And I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm just saying usually people that have dreams about me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And it's up to you to make of it what you want to make. So discern correctly and you'll get the right message. Maya Love Creates. Here we go. Here's your card pull. So we have the Nine of Cups for you, Maya. Nine of Cups. I had to count those cups. I'm not good at Roman numerals, honestly. Nine of Cups. So Maya, you got the Nine of Cups. Maya Love Creates. At this time, I want to tell you, Spirit brings a message for you to start beginning to be confident in your abilities, in your ways, in your business, whatever you're doing, that you need to bring in this courage or come to this settlement inside of yourself that you are going to do one thing and the one thing only, and that's what you do best. And you need to not keep going back and forth about another thing that you want to do because you know that you do best in this thing that you have started. So I want you to encourage you, Maya Love Creates, that you need to believe in yourself because you're almost there. You're almost like cracking the code type of thing. So Maya, that's your spirit message today. That's your card pull. Let me know if that makes sense. Maya Love Creates, and give me yes it does, or anything, any feedback will do. All right. Ito 9006 says, I was definitely someone you healed beginning of this year. That's when I learned I was spiritually gifted. Good. I'm glad that you're still here and watching. Maya Love Create says yes, or thank you, yes. Warmest blessings to all of you. We're at the top of the hour. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show today and what we talked about. Again, you're free to call within the hour. I'm always here on Monday, or try to be. And we've been doing this for about maybe a while now. I can't say exactly when, but it's been a while now. On Mondays and Wednesdays live. So expect me somehow to still come through on a Monday or Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. live to you. If I can't do it live, I will do a pre-recorded live. All right. Warmest blessings to all of you. And those of you that are watching and you have not subscribed and liked and or followed, go and do that right now. It is something to help pay it forward. It is free to do so, and you're not really paying it forward, but you are giving support to the channel, to myself, Master Shaman PaLiChee, and to PaLiChee Healing. If you find that my content helps you in any way, shape, or form, please go do that right now for me and for my spiritual guides. We will know that you are also loyal to our content and or PaLiChee as well. And you know that you will always gain something from Master PaLiChee and PaLiChee Healing. So we'll stop here. Talk soon. Warmest blessings.